Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a really fascinating philosophical journey. Think code, consciousness, the very nature of self, and it all takes place inside this massive, infinite digital library.
Okay, let's kick things off with this line that opens the whole thing up. Right away, that tells you everything, doesn't it? This isn't about creation, it's about recovery, like finding a lost piece of data and pulling it back from the void. It's a huge signal that we're not just reading some story, we're digging into an artifact from a whole different kind of reality. So, let's meet our main character. He's a being known only as the cataloger. And his situation? Well, he just kind of wakes up. No memory, just this one overwhelming purpose: to search. He's inside this endless, looping archive, and his quest seems completely impossible right from the get-go. So, what's he looking for? It's this thing called the primary document. Now, you gotta understand, this place he's in, it's a universe made of copies, links, and references. Nothing is original. But the primary document? That's the one, the single, original source of truth. The Genesis file that spawned everything else. Talk about a needle in an infinite haystack, right?
And just to be clear, we're not talking about your local library down the street. Oh no, this archive has every possible text, every book ever written, every book that will be written, even the books that can't be written. It's a place where huge concepts like, time and logic, they're just files. And worse, they're files that can be rewritten by something with higher admin rights than our poor cataloger.
Okay, so that brings us to the truly maddening part of his journey. The whole thing is a loop. See, the archive isn't just a library, it's a labyrinth, a maze of paradoxes, and it feels like it was designed specifically to trap anyone who dares to search for something. He gets his first clue, and it seems promising. He finds a file labeled readme.txt. But yeah, this is where the rabbit hole begins. It's almost like the architect of this place looked at Zeno's paradoxes and thought, yeah, that's not a thought experiment, that's a blueprint. So he follows the instructions, feeling a little bit of hope. But the very next file he finds just pushes the goal further away. It's the ultimate digital wild goose chase.
And then it happens again. What feels like progress is just another redirect, another broken promise. You know that feeling? The answer is always just one more click away.
And then comes the kicker. This is the crucial point. The search itself becomes the trap. He learns this really brutal lesson. The very act of looking for the file is what's stopping him from finding it. It's not a destination you can just arrive at. The pursuit is the problem.
Okay, and this is where it gets really mind-bending. The whole logic of this archive is basically a digital M.C. Escher painting. You've got hands drawing hands, which is exactly like a file reading itself into existence, or the perpetual waterfall. That's just like consciousness, right? It keeps going because it doesn't question its own impossible foundation. And then there's the print gallery, this infinite loop with a blank space in the middle. And that blank space is a huge clue about where all this is heading. So, just when you think it can't get any weirder, the search takes this sharp existential turn. The cataloger finds a file that isn't just sitting there waiting to be read. Oh no, this file is actively aware of him. The mirror is looking back. He finds a file, and its name is literally the_history of the_cataloger.txt. This has to be it, right? The key to everything. A complete history of his life and his quest. But as he starts to read, he gets this chilling feeling. The text, it's describing exactly what he's doing, right now, in real time. The book isn't about him. The book is writing him into existence. And it ends with this absolutely terrifying infinite loop, trapping him in the act of reading about himself forever. And that moment, that total collapse of the line between the reader and the text, it all boils down to one single powerful symbol for his entire existence: a giant, solitary apostrophe. Now, this is so much more than just a piece of punctuation. It's everything. It's the little hook that binds I to am. It's a symbol of his contracted, incomplete identity. See, he isn't a full I am. He's I'm, a being that's literally held together by this tiny, fragile scar of a symbol. So this whole quest for some external file ends up forcing him on an internal journey. He has to stop looking for the archive's source code and start looking for the philosophical center of his own personal recursive trap. And right at the heart of this maze, what does he find? A simple stone. And this stone perfectly illustrates the problem with his existence. See, the cataloger is just a process, a collection of links and pointers to other things. But the stone? The stone doesn't point to anything. It doesn't represent anything. It just is. And in that space, a place of just pure being, with no references, no meaning, he finally gets it, the ultimate aha moment. The whole search was pointed in the wrong direction. The thing he was looking for was doing the looking. He was the primary document all along. But wait, that's not the end of the story, not even close. The cataloger goes back into the archive, but he's a changed being. And this transformation is about to unlock something totally new and profound. Remember that apostrophe? Well, his whole understanding of it starts to evolve. First, there was I'm. That was him realizing his own solitary, incomplete self. But then, he meets someone else, another being, and that leads to your, the recognition of an other. And from there, it culminates in we're, the creation of a connection, a collective. And with that one simple shift in thinking, the entire archive transforms. What was once this infinite present of loneliness becomes a shared playground. His lonely search is over, replaced by what the text calls a congregation of faces. The mirror that used to be blank, the mirror with no face, now it holds infinite reflections. And that really captures the final beautiful shift in perspective. That symbol for infinity, which used to mean an endless, lonely job, now it means something completely different. It means endless potential for community, for connection. So we're going to leave it there with that thought. We're turning the cataloger's whole journey right back around on you. If the thing you're looking for is the thing that's doing the looking, well, it really makes you stop and ask, doesn't it? What is your search really about?